Welcome to Secret Scrolls, unlocking the universe's ancient mysteries.
Flow with the flicker of the flame, sing with the whisper of the wind, and race with the wings of Hermes, always onward, always seeking. The seeker's path is neither linear nor simple, yet it is driven by an inner force, silent but unstoppable. It is this will that guides the one who surrenders with love to the currents of life, weaving together the four pillars of existence: body, mind, soul, and spirit, merging the three virtues of wisdom, compassion, and courage, and finding harmony on the sacred seventh day, where all things come to rest. At the core of this journey lies the boundless present, silent and vast, yet teeming with all that was and all that could ever be. It is the still center of the ever-turning wheel, where time pauses and the infinite reveals itself within a single breath. To grasp this moment is to stand at the threshold of the deepest mysteries. Yet wisdom reveals that before mastering the act of planting, one must first understand the art of harvesting. Only through embracing the cycles of growth and decay can the soul attune to life's sacred rhythm. Planting, harvesting, and giving are not mere acts, but echoes of a deeper truth. Life itself is an endless act of offering. Give your heart as freely as the stalk gives life to its. Here's the expanded version of the passage in 500 words. The path of the initiate is a delicate dance with the unknown, a journey into the heart of mystery where certainty dissolves and only the inner flame remains as a guide. Like the wind that roams freely, unaware of its destination, the true seeker advances not by sight, but by trust in that sacred fire within. This fire holds no name, yet it burns with timeless wisdom, illuminating the path through darkness and light. This is the heart of the great mystery, the paradox that underlies all existence, the union of opposites. It is the reconciliation of light and shadow, matter and spirit, life and death, that opens the gateway to deeper truths. At the threshold of this mystery stands the Sphinx, ancient, silent, and eternal. Its riddle is not a mere puzzle to be solved with clever words, but a profound experience to be lived. The Sphinx represents the tension between dualities and the harmony that can be found when they are balanced. Its stony gaze does not hide the answer. Instead, it reflects it back to the seeker. The wisdom once inscribed at the Temple of Delphi, "Know thyself," is the key that unlocks this ancient enigma. But what does it truly mean to know oneself? It is not measured by surface-level achievements or fleeting moments of triumph. True self-knowledge requires a courageous descent into the labyrinth of the soul, where the raw, unfiltered parts of our being reside, our deepest fears, our suppressed desires, and the shadows we often refuse to see. To truly know oneself is to face this inner chaos and recognize that within the darkness lies a reflection of the light. Chaos and order, destruction and creation, life and death. These are not opposing forces, but complementary energies within the same cosmic dance. The Sphinx, therefore, is not a monster to be vanquished, but a mirror to be understood. Its riddle forces the initiate to confront their own inner dualities, to see the eternal struggle between body and spirit, instinct and wisdom, fear and love. Yet, for the one who dares to look deeper, the Sphinx reveals a deeper truth. These opposites are not in conflict, but in partnership. Like the two wings of a bird, they must move in harmony for the soul to truly ascend. The path to mastery is not about rejecting the self, but integrating it fully. Virtue is not the denial of instinct, but its refinement. Shadows are not meant to be destroyed, but illuminated, transforming their raw power into wisdom. Light does not banish darkness, it reveals its depth, turning it from enemy to ally. In the heart of the initiate, virtues bloom like a sacred garden. Compassion blossoms from understanding shared pain. Justice stands tall, rooted in fairness, and beauty radiates even in the simplest of moments. But among all virtues, courage remains the foundation. It is courage that allows the seeker to stand before the Sphinx, to traverse the barren deserts of the unconscious mind, and to endure the fires of transformation. The alchemists understood this journey well. Their pursuit was never about turning lead into gold, but transmuting the soul through stages of darkness, purification, awakening, and finally, illumination. Each stage mirrors the inner path of the initiate, leading to the realization of the eternal now, the only true temple. When balance is finally achieved, the initiate understands the Sphinx's ultimate truth. They are both the seeker and the sought, the question and the answer, the creator and the creation. And in that revelation, they no longer need answers. They become the mystery itself. Dance like the flame, sing like the nymph, run like Hermes, always forward, always seeking. The path of death and rebirth. The priest's journey of transformation begins in the sacred city of Abydos, a land steeped in ancient reverence for Osiris, the god of death, resurrection, and eternal renewal. Yet the death that the initiate faces here is not of the body. It is the death of the ego, the shattering of the illusory self that clings to the material world and its fleeting desires. In Abydos, the initiate stands at the threshold of the greatest mystery, the cycle of death and rebirth that governs both the cosmos and the human soul. Abydos is not merely a city of stone and sand. It is a spiritual portal, a passage to a deeper perception of existence. Within the towering walls of the Temple of Seti the One, the priest walks through narrow corridors that mirror the winding pathways of the soul. Every step echoes the inward journey, each turn leading deeper into the hidden chambers of the self. At the heart of the temple lies the Osirian, a subterranean sanctuary believed to be the eternal resting place and rebirth chamber of Osiris himself. It is here that the initiate undergoes the most profound of rites, a ritual confrontation with mortality. Led by torchlight, they descend into the cool depths of the temple, where a stone sarcophagus awaits, a symbol of Earth's womb and Osiris's tomb. With slow, deliberate breath, the initiate lies within the sarcophagus, the lid closing out the light. In darkness, the haunting echoes of ancient chants drift through the air like whispers from the underworld. This is not a moment of fear, but of reckoning. The initiate is guided to reflect on all they fear losing: titles, possessions, attachments, and even their own identity. One by one, these fragments of the ego begin to fall away, until only the raw core of the self remains. The crushing weight of what must be left behind becomes clear. The initiate feels the emptiness that follows the death of the ego, a hollow space where the noise of identity has faded. And yet, in this emptiness, there is also freedom. When the sarcophagus lid is lifted, light spills in, and the initiate emerges as though reborn. Torchlight flickers against the stone walls, revealing an ancient inscription. From dismemberment arises unity. From chaos emerges order. The initiate now understands. Death is not destruction, but purification. It strips away what is false so that the truth may bloom. This experience marks the stage of Nigredo, the first phase of spiritual alchemy. It is the dark night of the soul, where all is dissolved, and the old self dies to make way for the new. The initiate leaves Abydos heavy-hearted but forever changed, carrying a spark of wisdom. Death is not the end, it is the catalyst for transformation. Yet the journey does not end here. From the shadows of Abydos, the priest travels onward to Luxor, the city of 100 gates, where the towering temple of Amun-Ra stands as a beacon of wisdom and light. If Abydos represents death, Luxor is the realm of rebirth, a place where the initiate learns the art of creation through the power of the word. Venturing deeper, the priest arrives at Karnak's sacred lake, its water still and reflective under the Egyptian sun. Here begins the initiation into the element of water, the realm of emotions and life's fluidity. As night falls, the initiate sits in silent meditation beneath the stars, their reflections shimmering upon the surface. They learn that water, when calm and deep, reveals hidden truths, but when stirred by turbulence, becomes opaque. The lesson is clear. Emotions must flow freely, but the soul must not be swept away by their tides. Mastery lies in balance, feeling deeply yet remaining steady. In the temple's inner sanctums, where the sun's rays barely reach, the priest stands before the altars of fire. Here, within the shadows, they are initiated into the element of transformation. Fire, the force of will, passion, and purification. In an ancient ritual, the priest lights a flame with their own hands, invoking the creative power that turns potential into reality. Fire devours, but it also refines. The priest learns that the strength of their will is what fuels growth and change, but it must be wielded with care, lest it burn uncontrolled. The journey culminates beneath Karnak's colossal stone columns, their weight anchoring the temple to the earth, while their heights stretch toward the heavens. Here, in the stillness of the earth element, the priest feels the grounding force of existence. They are tasked with carrying heavy stones a short distance, the physical strain teaching that the body, often seen as a burden, is instead a sacred vessel, a bridge between spirit and materiality. Earth is stability, the form that holds life, and to honor it is to honor one's own being. At the grand hypostyle hall, where hundreds of massive columns rise like ancient trees in a cosmic forest, the initiate receives the final revelation. Though the elements, air, water, fire, and earth, seem distinct, they are unified through the invisible ether that binds all creation. The priest now understands that internal harmony reflects into the external world, and imbalance within the self ripples outward, manifesting as disorder. With this knowledge, the priest leaves Karnak, carrying the wisdom of the elements. They see themselves no longer as a fragment of the world, but as a mirror of it, creation within creation. The path now leads south to Edfu, the temple of Horus, guardian of perception and the ever-watchful eye. Edfu stands as a fortress of spiritual vision, where the initiate is called to awaken the sight that penetrates beyond appearances. This is the domain of the Eye of Horus, the Ujat, a symbol not merely of protection, but of total awareness, where the physical and spiritual, conscious and unconscious, converge. In the vast courtyard of Edfu, a towering statue of Horus as a falcon casts its shadow over the stone floor. The priest kneels before it, meditating for hours on the falcon's unblinking gaze, sharp, far-reaching, all-seeing. They are taught that the true eye sees beyond form and illusion, perceiving both the surface and the depths beneath. The falcon's sight becomes a metaphor for the spiritual vision the priest seeks to cultivate. The first stage of Edfu's initiation is observation. The priest is trained to notice the subtle details in their surroundings, the shifting patterns of wind, the faint expressions on strangers' faces, the silent language of nature. They come to realize that the outer world is a reflection of the inner one, that what they notice outside is shaped by what lies within. The second stage is introspection. The priest enters the temple's hidden chambers, where a polished obsidian mirror stands alone in the quiet space. Before it, they are instructed to gaze at their own reflection, long and without distraction. This is not mere vanity, it is confrontation. They see their flaws, their strengths, their fears, and their hidden virtues laid bare. They understand that true vision is not outward but inward, Only by seeing themselves clearly can they perceive the world as it truly is. Finally, the priest reaches the hall of the Ujat, where the last ritual awaits. In a ceremony of darkness and light, their eyes are blindfolded for an entire night, plunging them into symbolic blindness, the state of spiritual ignorance. In the total absence of sight, the mind stirs, revealing inner fears and forgotten truths. It is only at dawn, as the first ray of sunlight enters the temple, that the blindfold is removed. The initiate now sees the light not as something external, but as something awakened within. The lesson of Edfu is profound. Spiritual vision is not a gift, but a discipline. It requires patience, courage, and the willingness to see both beauty and shadow, within and without. The eye of Horus is not easily opened. It demands the constant effort to look deeper, to pierce through illusion and recognize truth. With this final awakening, the priest leaves Edfu forever changed. They now carry a vision that sees beyond the veil, an understanding that reality is layered, complex, and alive. From the elemental wisdom of Karnak to the sharp clarity of Edfu, the initiate has completed another step on the path to spiritual mastery, each temple a mirror of the soul's unfolding journey. Embracing duality and transcending through love. Leaving Edfu with heightened spiritual vision, the priest's path now leads deeper into the heart of duality and the ultimate mystery of unity. True spiritual vision is not complete until one has faced the shadows within, and so the journey continues to Kom Ombo, the temple of dualities. Here, two gods, Sobek, the crocodile god of primal strength, and Horus, the falcon god of divine clarity, share the same sanctuary, a testament to the balance between instinct and intellect, shadow and light. The priest arrives at dusk as the sun's golden light melts into the approaching night. The towering columns of Kom Ombo stand reflected in the flowing Nile, their mirrored forms shifting between beauty and menace. The very air seems to murmur, "Embrace what you fear, for in it lies your strength." The initiation at Kom Ombo begins with confrontation. In a hall adorned with intricate carvings of Sobek and Horus, the priest sits in silent meditation before the statue of the crocodile god. The cold, unflinching eyes of Sobek force the priest to turn inward, to face the parts of themselves most feared or rejected. Sobek embodies raw survival instincts, untamed desires, and the relentless force of life that exists beneath the surface. In contrast, Horus, ever watchful with his falcon's gaze, represents the mind illuminated by wisdom, soaring above fear. But the lesson here is not about choosing one over the other. It is about integration. The priest learns that Sobek's primal energy is the root of life's tenacity, while Horus offers the vision to transcend its limitations. Both are essential. To deny either is to live in imbalance. On the final night at Kom Ombo, the priest undergoes a ritual by the Nile's dark waters. Under a moonlit sky, they submerge themselves, fully embracing the shadow within. The cold current wraps around them, a silent witness to their surrender. Emerging from the depths, the priest understands a profound truth. The shadow is not an enemy to be destroyed, but a force to be embraced and transformed. Light defines darkness, and darkness gives light its depth. With this revelation, the priest departs Kom Ombo, carrying a newfound strength. Fear has been transmuted into power, and the shadow, once a threat, now serves as a foundation for greater ascension. The journey now flows toward Philae, the temple of Isis, the great mother and guardian of life's deepest mysteries. Philae, rising from the Nile's waters like a floating dream, is a place where the veil between worlds thins. Here, the initiate is called to go beyond the trials of mind, body, and shadow, to surrender to love, the invisible force binding all existence. As the priest steps onto Philae's sacred ground, the air shifts, soft, fragrant, almost tender. Isis does not reveal herself as a statue or a voice, but as a presence, subtle and encompassing, like the gentle hush at twilight. The temple breathes with her essence, an invitation to dissolve all boundaries. The first lesson at Philae is devotion. The priest is guided to serve at Isis's altars, cleaning sacred objects, arranging fresh flowers, and tending to the smallest details of care. In these humble acts, they learn that love is not grand or distant. It is found in service, in respect, in attention to the sacred woven into everyday life. Devotion becomes the gateway to the divine. The second lesson is sacrifice. At the temple's tranquil lake, the priest is asked to offer something deeply personal, an object, a memory, or even a lingering desire. As the offering sinks beneath the water's surface, they feel the weight of release. Love, they realize, is not possession but freedom. To truly love is to let go. In the final stage of initiation, the priest is led into the temple's inner sanctum. In the heart of Philae, beneath a star-studded ceiling, a hierophant guides them into deep meditation. The boundaries between self and world dissolve, and the priest senses the pulse of creation itself, the womb of the cosmos, where all things are born, nurtured, and returned. A quiet voice within speaks the eternal truth. I am the child and the mother, the beginning and the end. I am everything and nothing, separate and united. As dawn breaks on the final day, the priest stands at the temple's edge, watching as the first rays of sunlight touch the Nile. In this moment, they understand. The journey was never about the self alone, but about the all. They become a vessel of Isis's boundless love, an extension of the compassion that threads through all creation. The path from Kom Ombo to Philae has been a journey of transformation, from fear to acceptance, from duality to unity. The priest emerges not as a solitary seeker, but as a bearer of the sacred, carrying within them the balance of instinct and vision, strength and tenderness, shadow and light. The priest's coronation. The priest's journey comes full circle, returning to its origin. Abydos, the cradle and tomb of Osiris, the gateway between the visible and invisible realms. Yet, the one who now crosses the temple's threshold is no longer the same. The once hesitant steps now echo with the certainty of one who has unraveled the profound mysteries of life and death. This return is not an end, but a perfect circle, the symbol of eternity. In Abydos, the priest is crowned, not as a ruler, but as a servant of creation, one who has realized that true power lies not in dominance, but in surrender. On the eve of the coronation, the priest is led into the depths of the Osirian, where cold stone and darkness cradle them like a cosmic womb. Here they light a single flame, a solitary candle flickering in the still air, its fragile yet unwavering glow reflecting the essence of their journey. In deep meditation, the priest revisits each stage of the path: the symbolic death in Abydos, the sacred word in Luxor, the dance of the elements in Karnak, the gaze of Horus in Edfu, the integration of shadows in Kom Ombo, the embrace of the Divine Mother in Philae. These lessons are no longer distant memories. They now live within the priest, shaping their very being. As the first light of dawn graces the horizon, the priest is led to the Nile for the final purification. They submerge in the still, ancient waters, a symbolic act of ultimate rebirth. Emerging from the depths, they are reborn, now fully awakened, a being of both shadow and light. At noon, beneath the blazing sun at its zenith, the priest steps into the central hall of the Osirian, where a circle of hierophants awaits. At the heart of the hall rests the golden crown, adorned with the Uraeus serpent, the timeless symbol of awakened wisdom and spiritual mastery. The chief hierophant, his voice deep and resonant, speaks. You have walked the path of the gods. In dying, you were reborn. In separation, you found integration. You are now the child of Isis and Osiris, the bridge between heaven and earth. Through your word, the world will be shaped. Through your shadow, light will be revealed. Through your light, love will manifest. The coronation is not the conclusion of the journey, but the dawn of a new purpose. The priest is now called to embody the wisdom they have gathered, to live as a reflection of the divine in the material world. Before leaving Abydos, the priest offers one final prayer, not spoken aloud, but whispered within the soul. May I be the bridge where there is separation. May I be the light where there is darkness. May I be the love where there is fear. May the divine flow through me, so that all beings may remember. They, too, are temples. They, too, are eternity.